at the end of the day, my teammates need me, whether it's just me being in the moment or shooting a shot, they need me. So I feel great.
You know, just being an advocate for every single person in this league and, you know, keep pushing this thing forward and enjoying it all at the same time and having a lot of fun.
Picture this. Aja Wilson, WNBA superstar, sitting in front of her TV, watching her own league's ratings plummet. She's fuming. And you know why? Because Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation, just left for Europe and took all the fans with her. It's like someone pulled the plug on the WNBA's hype machine. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. But here's the kicker. Wilson thinks there's more to this story than just talent. She's pointing fingers at race, privilege, and a whole lot of drama. You think you know what's going on in the WNBA. Trust me, you don't know the half of it. Let's break down this mess, shall we?
They're the same as how fast it goes. You know, it flies by, but these are some of the best moments of your life, so.
Every night.
You know, they really stuck with us through the beginning of the year. I'm just really thankful. They continued to show up for us.
Remember when the WNBA was just there? Sure, it had its fans, but it wasn't exactly setting the sports world on fire. Then boom, Caitlin Clark shows up, and suddenly everyone's talking about women's basketball like it's the hottest thing since sliced bread. Clark joins the league, and it's like someone flipped a switch. People who couldn't tell you the difference between a free throw and a three-pointer are suddenly glued to their screens. She's not just playing basketball, she's putting on a show. Every game becomes an event, and the WNBA's loving it.
To respond, I think that's an area that we really had to grow. But at the same time, I still feel like there's so many areas we can continue. You don't even know who's guarding you half the time, I think. And I know Richard's guarded me some there in the third, maybe at the beginning of the fourth.
Well, most of the WNBA anyway. You see, not everyone's doing backflips over Clark's arrival. Some players are feeling a bit overshadowed. It's like they've been working their butts off for years, and now this rookie comes in and steals all the spotlight. Can you blame them for being a little salty? But let's talk numbers, because they don't lie. We're talking viewership skyrocketing like never before. Clark's games are pulling in 1.8 million viewers. That's not just good for the WNBA. That's beating out some NFL games on Sundays. Yeah, you heard that right. People are skipping football to watch Caitlin Clark. That's insane. But here's the thing. It wasn't just about skill. Sure, Clark's got game, but plenty of players have game. Clark had this presence. She steps on the court, and you can't look away. She's breaking records left and right.
So I think, you know, all of that combined is just learning from game to game, continue to improve in certain areas, little areas, and I think for myself, you take for granted, and I'm just lucky I get to play this game because there's a lot of people that would kill to be a part of this league. It's the hardest league to be a part of.
337 assists in a single season. That's a new WNBA record. 761 points as a rookie. Another record shattered. It's like she's playing a different sport out there. The WNBA's marketing team is going nuts. They've got this golden goose, and they're milking it for all it's worth. Cheryl Reeve, the Minnesota Lynx coach, is practically begging the league to capitalize on the Clark craze. And can you blame her? When you've got a player who can single-handedly boost your ratings by double digits, you ride that wave. But here's where it gets tricky. What happens when your golden goose flies the coop? Clark's not just good, she's Europe good. And Europe's calling with some seriously deep pockets. The WNBA's built this whole hype machine around one player, and now she's eyeing the exit. It's like building your house on sand and watching the tide come in. While Clark packs her bags for Europe, Aja Wilson's blood is boiling. Is it just about losing the spotlight, or is there a deeper, more troubling issue at play in the WNBA? You know who's not celebrating Clark's European adventure? Aja Wilson. She's been the face of the WNBA for years, dominating the court, and racking up accolades. But now, she's feeling like yesterday's news, and she's not keeping quiet about it. Wilson's not just mad about Clark stealing her thunder. She's pointing fingers at something way bigger: race and privilege in the WNBA. It's like she's been holding this in for years, and Clark's success was the final straw. Wilson's saying what a lot of people have been whispering about. Does the league favor white players? Let's break it down. Wilson's got a Nike deal, right? Sounds pretty sweet. She's one of the few WNBA players with a signature shoe coming out in 2025. But here's the kicker. How does that stack up to Clark's Europe contract? It's not even close. We're talking about Clark potentially making more in one season overseas than Wilson might see in her entire shoe deal.
With us, but I'm just super proud of her and happy for her. And she's one of the hardest workers, a great teammate, great leader, one of the best teammates. I don't know. We'll have to see. Can't give out any answers, but no, I think it's something, me going into this year, is I just don't want to live with any regret.
Wilson's not mincing words. She's straight up saying, it really is because you can be top-notch at what you are as a black woman, but yet maybe that's something that people don't want to see. They don't see it as marketable, so it doesn't matter how hard I work. Ouch! That's not just throwing shade, that's dropping a truth bomb on the whole league. And Wilson's not alone. Other players and coaches are starting to speak up too. They're saying the WNBA's been pushing white players to the front of the line for years, and Clark's just the latest example. It's like they've been building this hype machine, but only certain players get to ride it. But here's where it gets complicated. Is Wilson right? Or is she just salty about losing the spotlight? Some folks are saying it's not about race, it's about star power. Clark's bringing in the viewers, so of course she's getting the attention, but then you look at the numbers and you start to wonder. We're talking about a massive gap between Wilson's Nike deal and Clark's Europe contract. We don't have exact figures, but industry insiders are saying it's not even in the same ballpark. We're talking potentially millions of dollars difference. That's not just a gap, that's a Grand Canyon-sized chasm. Turns out that salary gap might be the least of the WNBA's worries. With Clark gone, the league's facing a different kind of deficit. Empty seats, plummeting ratings, and a buzz that's fizzled faster than a cheap firework. Is this the new normal for women's basketball, or is there a way to bounce back? Let's paint a picture of the WNBA post-Clark.
We've only been able to put stuff in walkthroughs and shoot-arounds, and we haven't had time to actually work on it versus live competition versus our practice boys and understand the game a little bit better. It is a lot different than college, and I think also for myself, being able to get to know my teammates and understand.
It's not pretty, folks. Imagine arenas that were once packed to the rafters, now echoing with the sound of empty seats. TV ratings? They're in free fall. It's like someone hit the mute button on all the excitement Clark brought to the game. You know what's crazy? Some games are playing to half-empty arenas. Half empty. Remember when you couldn't get a ticket unless you sold your kidney? Now they're practically giving them away. And the TV ratings? Oh boy, they've taken a nosedive. We're talking double-digit drops here. It's like everyone decided to watch paint dry instead of WNBA games. But here's the thing. It's not just about the numbers. The energy's gone. The buzz has fizzled. You know that electric feeling you'd get when Clark stepped on the court? That anything could happen vibe? Yeah, that's vanished faster than a Steph Curry three-pointer. And you know who's really freaking out? The sponsors. They're looking at these empty seats and tanking ratings. And they're getting nervous. Can you blame them? They signed up for the Caitlin Clark show, and now they're stuck with the understudy. Let's talk about the players for a sec. They're panicking too. Imagine busting your butt on the court, only to look up and see more empty seats than fans. It's gotta be demoralizing, right? Some of them are probably wondering if they should follow Clark's lead and hop on a plane to Europe. You wanna know what's really wild? The league's scrambling to find the next big thing. They're trying to hype up other players, but it's like trying to replace LeBron with, well, anyone who's not LeBron. It just doesn't hit the same.
Proud of our group, certainly battled, and now we feel like we're kind of through that hump, and we had a couple days of practice and time to kind of improve in ways that we see one of your best friends live out her dream and then play against each other, but at the same time it's definitely pretty weird for the two of us. Like, we were teammates for 4 years.
So here's the million-dollar question. Did the WNBA put all its eggs in one Clark-shaped basket? I mean, hindsight's 20/20, but come on. Building your entire league around one player? That's like betting your life savings on a single hand of poker. Sometimes you win big, but when you lose, man, you lose everything. Hold up. While everyone's focused on Clark's departure, there's another story brewing. It's about who gets the spotlight in the WNBA and why. A'ja Wilson's not holding back, and her words are sparking a fire that could change the league forever. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Race in sports. It's always been there, lurking in the background, but now it's front and center in the WNBA, and A'ja Wilson just cranked up the volume to 11. Wilson's not just talking about losing the spotlight. She's pointing fingers at something way bigger. Listen to this. I think it's a huge thing. I think a lot of people may say it's not about black and white, but to me, it is. Boom! Wilson just dropped a truth bomb that's got everyone talking. But here's where it gets messy. Some folks are saying, hey, it's just about talent. Clark's bringing in the viewers, so of course she's getting the attention. But others, they're seeing a pattern that's been there for years. Who's been getting the big contracts, the primetime games, the marketing deals? It's not just about who's got game on the court anymore. Wilson's not mincing words. She's saying, you can be top-notch at what you are as a black woman, but yet, maybe that's something that people don't want to see. They don't see it as marketable, so it doesn't matter how hard I work. That's not just shade. That's a spotlight on a problem that's been in the shadows for too long.
For every team that gets to come and play here, I think we've had a lot of great battles, and they've helped us win a lot of games on this floor. So, like I said, hopefully we.
I'm not even gonna hold you. I feel great. Even in fourth quarters, I'm like, I'm good. But the biggest thing, and I've learned.
But here's the kicker: Clark's fan base isn't just a bunch of white folks. She's got a diverse following that's turning heads. Black male fans, they're showing up for Clark in a big way. So is this really about race? Or is it about star power? The numbers don't lie, though. We're seeing a real gap in marketing opportunities. Black players are feeling left out in the cold when it comes to promotions, primetime slots, and those juicy sponsorship deals. It's not just in their heads, the data's backing it up. So what's the deal? Is the WNBA playing favorites? Or is this just how the cookie crumbles when you've got a superstar like Clark? Either way, the league's got a problem on its hands, and it's not going away anytime soon. Alright, let's face it, the WNBA's in a tough spot. Losing Caitlin Clark? That's like losing your star quarterback right before the Super Bowl. But it's not just about one player. This whole mess has opened up a can of worms about race, marketing, and who gets the spotlight. So what's next? The league's gotta figure out how to keep its stars happy and its fans entertained. A'ja Wilson, she's not backing down. She's gonna keep fighting for what she thinks is right. And all those young players dreaming of being the next big thing, they're watching and learning. One thing's for sure, the game's changed, both on and off the court. The WNBA's got to adapt, or it's going to get left behind. It's not just about basketball anymore. It's about equality, representation, and giving everyone a fair shot at stardom.